Hi guys, Anna is here, and in this video we're going to learn about the structure of the ATP and its functions in cellular processes. So please grab a piece of paper and we're going to draw loads of structures to learn this topic. So we're going to cover the structure of ATP, the process of ATP hydrolysis, and why ATP is a good source of energy. So the ATP structure is straightforward. It's subdivided into three components, which I'm going to draw now. So I want you to start with a hexagon followed by a sideways pentagon with the bond carbon at the bottom, drawing another pentagon and drawing three circles adjacent to each other. So I'm just going to zoom into this diagram. There are three main components of ATP that you guys need to know, and we're going to go through them in a moment. But sometimes, quite commonly in exam, what is being asked is to actually name the ATP. So you need to know that ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. Please learn the spelling of it. It usually would be like a one-marker question. So on the left-hand side, hexagon plus pentagon, that's adenine. Then it's followed by ribose and followed by three phosphate groups like this. And that's it, guys. So if you're able to recognize this in exam, that's a great job. Okay, so now let's go through the process of ATP hydrolysis and how energy is released from this process to support numerous cellular activities. Okay, so if we draw ATP structure again, the more you draw it, the easier it will be to learn. Okay, so this is our ATP, and this structure will now be hydrolyzed into a molecule called ADP. So just a reminder, hydrolysis is a type of reaction which involves an addition of a water molecule to break down a biological molecule. So in this case, as you can see, guys, the ATP will be hydrolyzed into a structure called ADP, which stands for adenosine diphosphate. Diphosphate standing for the structure having two phosphates only. And at the same time, there will be an inorganic phosphate released together with energy. So the inorganic phosphate is abbreviated as a PI. It's quite often forgotten that the inorganic phosphate released from this reaction also plays an important role, because if it's added to different substrates, it actually makes them more reactive, which we'll cover in a moment. Okay, so the final part of this video, we need to go through the why ATP is a good source of energy, which is quite a commonly asked exam question. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay a couple of bullet points, primarily taken from different mark schemes of different exam boards, and I would recommend that you guys write this down. So ATP is a good source of energy because it provides an immediate source of energy. Okay, and this is due to ATP undergoing hydrolysis reaction, which is a single-step reaction. So if a cell needs energy, it just can break down ATP by the addition of water, and the energy will be released. Okay, the third point is that energy is released in small amounts. And this is important because we don't want too much energy being released at the same time within a cell, because that energy will be dissipated and wasted as heat. Okay, so therefore the cell will release it in small amounts by hydrolyzing ATP, which can be utilized for different processes. Then the fourth point is that ATP can be easily resynthesized from its components of ADP and inorganic phosphate by an enzyme which is called ATP synthase, okay, which is part of the electron transport chain, which is the topic from year 13. And if you're only in year 12, you don't have to cover this at this stage. And then the final point, which I already mentioned before, is that the inorganic phosphate is added to substrates to make them more reactive and hence lowering the activation energy required for particular reactions. So again, this, for example, it doesn't happen in all reactions, but it's important, for example, in a reaction called glycolysis, again, which you learned in year 13. And this finishes the topic of ATP. But this video, I want you to finish on actually providing you an example of an exam question of what can be asked from you guys. So please write this down, and if you want to, you can share your answer with me in the comments below. So for the exam question for the end of this video is compare structure of ATP and DNA nucleotide, which normally would be 2 to 3 marks in an exam. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I really appreciate your support. Please press thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. And please do let me know what next videos you'd like to see. The plan is to kind of have all the videos covering the entire A-level course for biology. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.